Gym Legends, and thank you for tuning in. Today we are doing a little recorded update session regarding the trades that we took in the past 2 weeks, and especially since it's absolutely Christmas time right now, we will keep it brief. And Asian is recording the session again, so you can just watch it whenever you want. Today's main point will be the release of the Coco Confluence trading suit, and therefore we are using the charts today as a little showcase to show you how you can adjust it, how you can tune the settings the way you like to trade. And yeah, I think it's a great time right now to showcase it because the volatility is a bit higher, so there are a lot of interesting things to go to. I will just quickly check again in the Discord if you can see the trading view chart, and then I will jump right into the showcase. Um, we will do like 20 minutes, I think, until 15:30. Let me quickly check. Can you guys see it? Perfect. Thank you. Okay, cool. So we spoke about it quite often, and I got a lot of feedback. Thank you, Legends. Just to make that clear, I just made the VRVP invisible, right? Same as the right momentum oscillator, just to make it clear. Like, of course, I will upload it, release it via TradingView. The indicator will be invite only for our ecosystem, meaning that everyone that is holding the infinite NFTs, everyone that is holding Alpha Blocks, Alpha Suns, that is part of our brotherhood will, of course, get access to it for free. Um, Therefore, I'm just showcasing it to you without the other two things that I'm using, whereas I highly recommend to have an oscillator down here as well as the VRVP. But what you are seeing right now is solely the indicator suit that I've been coding and releasing for you guys. What do we have here? You have different geometric forms that you can see, as well as bands, as well as moving averages. You have three tables that can help you navigate um, through the market. Those tables can display to you which regime you're trading in, what is the market doing, how is it behaving, how aggressive is the market. And I think this can be equally useful for you if you are tapped in with the market, you are right now trading for your whatever 6th week in a row without a break, or let's say right now is Christmas time, you take 1, 2, 3 weeks off of the market and you need to get up to date, right? So I think there is a difference between how you could use this tool or how you should use the tool, in my opinion, to just get an overview of the market compared to how would you actually trade off of it, right? Because the name is Coco Confluence for a reason that I do not endorse, or I do not want anyone to be like, hey, because yes, this stuff has an incredible hit rate, but um, I want this for you, this here as an example. I want this to be a confluence for you that helps you to learn how to trade, to learn how to take profits, but not like simply, oh yeah, there were those blue triangles and diamonds, so this is why I took a short. And like, I'm happy if you can make money off of that, but this is here to educate you and to execute on the right things, right? So just before I dive in, an example would always be that maybe you place an entry somewhere here or whatever, and the stop loss, the idea would be that the stop loss is outside of the bands and your take profit is like a 2x. So you're usually taking 2-to-1 risk to reward trades, right? But that's going way too far. So what I would like to explain to you is just what are you seeing here. FYI, you can basically toggle everything on and off, right? You see I have show the EMAs. We have an EMA 100 and 200. Whereas the one of the EMAs here, as you can see, displays you if we are in a medium term up or downtrend, right? So this is why the one is coloring between green and red, and the other one is just staying orange as it's based on the theme that we have blue and orange here. You see, EMA 100 is orange line, whereas the EMA 200 helps you directly just with its color to determine the trend that you are in, the relative strength index is set with the period 14. So why am I showing you this as well? Because there are presets that I found to be very lucrative and smart. Same as Bollinger Bands. Usually Bollinger Bands are 20 and 2 and not 2.2, right? That you would see here, gray. But you can toggle everything on and off. You can adjust every number. You can enable the diamond signals that are mean reversal and disable them. Same as the triangle signals. Triangles here, as you see them, those do not anticipate, those confirm a trend, right? So the diamonds try to anticipate a local top, mean reversion, or a bottom, of course, whereas the triangles are way more seldom and confirm, in this case, a downtrend. And additionally, you have for divergences, circles. So this circle is up here because it's a bearish divergence, which then in combination with the momentum and the mean reversion can help you just to identify potential top or bottom clusters. Right, then you have a TWAP distance filter, volatility regime measured by the ATR. That's the table down here. So that's what I also meant with yes, in the beginning, this can look all very busy, or here the ATR bands, right? But you can literally turn everything on and off. And I think this is really, really cool. Here you have the session background, so it displays you, are we trading in the Sydney, Tokyo, the European, the US session. I mean, now we're heading into the US session, right? And therefore you can just check for yourself. Does the US session usually dump the market? Or right here, you have Asia, right? Blue. And now you see, hey, wait, at the moment, let's just measure this, right? At the moment, the Asia session usually makes us go up. Uh-huh, cool. And what about US session? Difficult, right? So like it goes down, that's what I mean. Same as here, right? Like you had the little pump up, scam pump, followed by a nuke. So you can kind of anticipate just based off of this without any other stuff. This is not an indicator, right? Like this just literally visualizes you the time in the trading sessions that you're in. And this can just help you from a bias just for yourself, just that you're like, okay, so at the moment, Bitcoin more often here also Asia session up, Asia session break even, one time down, up, up. So you have in 5 times Asia session, you have 3 times up, one is break even, one is down. So you have a tendency that the Asians are rather pumping the markets, whereas Americans are nuking the market. So this can help you if you find a good level to trade off of, to then also have an additional decision making like, hey, um, if I'm looking for longs and a long setup is presenting itself right before the Asia session, I have an additional point that like allows me to take the long trade with more chance that it's playing out. Whereas if I know that at the moment the US market is basically always dumping the hell out of Bitcoin, maybe it can just help me to prevent the decision that I say like, hey, you know what I'm not going to do? I will not leverage, like I will not punt a fresh leverage long into the US session. And I think this is very helpful, right? And based off of this system, you saw also here from last week where I shared a long as well as a short. Yeah. So now let's just thank you for that attention for those 10 minutes of showcasing the basics. I know you guys have a lot of questions. I get a lot of DMs. I included some features that people wanted to see. I will update it in the future. And the beauty of this trading suite is that we can always add features and we can just toggle them off. So in case you don't want to trade with them, it doesn't bother you. And I think that's the beauty of the Coco Confluence, that it does not only influence your trading directly by adding to your knowledge, but the chart doesn't have to be busy, right? Like for me as an example, like right, this is an example. Um, we know the session we trade in right now, and we just figured, okay, cool, Asia trades better than the US. So obviously I don't need the sessions background anymore. Okay. But what I want to see right now maybe is bullish and bearish divergence, same as the momentum and the reversals. So this is extremely clean chart, right? Not even including the EMAs. And yeah, what I've been sharing here was a long setup that got stopped out, followed by a shorting setup that like played out even way more than we even thought. So based off of this way that we are trading, or that I can just recommend you trade, that you're always looking for a 2 or 3 RR setup. In this case, it was 2.5. I shorted a bit more, but in those cases when I shared the trades, obviously, I will not tell you like, oh wow, the trade, the short went down so much. No, the trade that I shared had a take profit here. But if 1R means we risk $100 and we got stopped out here, like you know, there was a stop hunt in my opinion because this was very illiquid. But look, guys, we said the long is invalidated just from what I see in the market right now. At 88.2, the market went even $1,000 kind of lower. Like this is fine that you get stopped out here. So we have here -1R, yeah, -1R. Let's just say it's $100 to make it easier. So lost $100. Okay. And here we got filled very nicely, in my opinion. And it went way lower. So congrats if you held on a little bit more. But this was a 2.5 R win. So plus 2.5 R is you made $250, right? So there were two trading setups. Lost one, won one, but thanks to us using an asymmetric risk reward ratio is total of two trades, total win $150. Cool. I saw that a few of you took the trades with me. Obviously, if your risk is 1,000, then you made 1,500 in the end. But I think this is or was very important to cover one more time, that this is just crucial, that before entering a trade, that you're just aware what you're risking. And if your risk is always fixed, but your gains are variable to the upside, then in that case, look, we could have had three trades and just this one plays out and we would have made $50 because You lost 100 here, you made 250 here. And if the next trade would have been a loss again, then you can have a win rate of only 33% and you would still be in the gains. And I think this is just beautiful. Um, so let's go over a few charts that we covered last time. Um, one was a request from Asian where I said like, hey, I think that this looks kind of toppy here on Google, but since Google is such a beautiful chart, I don't want to like necessarily short it here. If you want to short it, you would have shorted the breakdown as I showed here. This trade would be in profits right now, same as we are now entering exactly the next level of where I would buy back or take a punt at longs. I mean, obviously, if you would have taken like double the side, then you would have more confidence maybe to long right here. But this was the thought, right? Like you have the VRVP here, you have a point of control. If this confirms to be the top, and then you try to retest it, break down. This is a bread and butter setup, so very nice that the short setup hit if you took that. I did not short Google, as I said that I would rather be trying to long it. So I will be buying some shares here. Same as I updated you that I was bullish on, or I'm long-term bullish, yeah, on Porsche. But when we were up here, I already painted that I said like, hey guys, this looks like we are about to top out locally because Porsche is just doing that zigzag, right? Sell off, crawling up again, printing a higher high, printing higher lows, respecting the channel, retesting it aggressively. Like this is beautiful. And this is why I said, okay, guys, maybe this will even be a bear flag and break down, but for now, I can just see like we were up here 7% already. So I said somewhere here, I see price going back down. Here you have an incredibly important yeah, cluster of point of control. We have a lot of volume due to why? Simply due to this being the macro low, like this was the lowest it ever went to. Um, Amazingly, you have here an anticipation that the Poco confluence saw a potential reversal here, which was the stone cold macro bottom and reversal. And here in that cluster, we had for the first time an anticipation that this could be a local top with this indicator, right? So I think the hit rate is quite nice because here the triangle showed you confirmation of downtrend. So you short. This is simply a display that you had a bullish divergence on the short time frame. Here, that would have been this, right? But nothing more. So short setup is clear, was clear. Figured that this could be a stone cold bottom. Here you had a rejection of the EMA, hence the uh, blue triangle to the bottom. If you zoom in, that was still a minus 4% move, right? It just looks so little because I'm zoomed out so much. But between the selling signal, minus 30%, buying signal, 15%, whatever, 4% downside again. Here, the first anticipation that this could be, because why? Why is this coming even? I can go into detail way more at some point, but this is a measurement between is the RSI look in topped out levels? Is it hitting the top of Bollinger Bands and the ATR bands? If that's the case, then it anticipates a probable local top, after which we also nuked. Here we anticipated last time that probably we will have a retest, because if I see now, if I can clearly see that this is the cluster that you do not want to break. Like as long as we can hold this level, that's why I painted it like that. As long as we can hold that level, That's super good. Like then for me the gates are open for, let's just say, like to the box up here. I just want to share with you the long position that you could take. Like I would have two different long positions here, or basically just buy it. But what you would have is like the stop loss, obviously, um, below the macro bottom. Okay, so it's like kind of 2-to-1 setup, and then oops, second one would be something rather down here, and boom, you have a 3, but let's just say higher probability, do something like that. Okay, then jumping over to crypto. Hype is now getting into our big buy zone, into the start of this big buy zone. Um, for now, I still just recommend buying spot, to be honest, and slowly scaling in. Yeah, I think the 3-day chart displays it the best. Because yes, this is looking like we are exactly in the box where I said like, hey, this is like the golden pocket, right? So the classic Fibonacci retracements that you would look out for an harmonic upside again. But I also have like my two lowest buying levels down here. Why do I have them down here? Because it's super simple. If Bitcoin is just repeating history in a bear market, and yes, I will say it again because this is what I believe, we are in a bear market right now. In my opinion, this is a fact and not an opinion, but I just said in my opinion because I hate to speak in absolutes, because this is my market outlook, this is my system, and I do not make the rules of this. But I think this just confirms it, right? Like we are down 35% on Bitcoin, and we are basically down only since 160 days. It's 5 months. 5 months of down only. Like this is not an uptrend. This is not a bull market. And why is the opinion of this being a bear market even more positive? Um, because it means the bear market will at some point end and come to an end into the reaccumulation, right? So do not take this negatively or as doom posting, but I posted another chart. Oh wow, so many people tuned in. You're so great. Thank you for the support. Um, I posted it here. Bitcoin macro levels. Those are the levels I'm ultimately looking out for because it's on a high time frame, on the 1 week time frame. It's the EMA 100 and 200, right? Here, absolute VRVP, clusters of local points of control. You saw here in that rally, right, when Elon Musk posted about Bitcoin being accepted by Tesla and stuff, where we topped at 69K. There was a local top before that, which was then again in the rally up, the local top where we got rejected, and then the point of breakout for a rally to 125K. So this is such an extremely crucial level. It's hard for me to like add other buzzwords without it sounding way too cringe, but 69,000 to 65,000, basically the whole 60,000 region is something like I will literally be buying fractions of Bitcoin spot, not care, put them in a trading account for coin and margin because this is where I'm getting so bullish. Right now, we are still kind of here in this line in the sand at the EMA 100. But we're not doing too well, right? And below that comes the 74 thousand level, which was the absolute local top in the winter of 2024, exactly 2 years ago. And again, the retest, you see it here in March 2025 when we had a huge Trump crash. So the levels again are 74,000 and 69,000 to 65, 69,000 to 65,000, followed by 57,000. Because once we are below here, like it's really horrible because then we're just speaking like 40,000, 30,000. But these are the levels where I can see organically the market to bottom out. What does that mean in exact numbers? I'm giving it to you here in the very clean chart. This was a zone that we spoke about. Then here, and you see like this was a rounded bottom area. Like you, when I look at this and when I check and compare it really with how it played out and how I try to anticipate the last cycle tops and bottoms, what you see is a difference like what can build confluence in traders and market participants. And that is when we can somehow defend levels that were bottoms in the past, because you can say like, oh, it's not that simple and stuff, but yes, human emotions and the decision making is that simple, because 90% of the people that are in the markets are not hardcore professionals, and those people are also beating most of the market professionals. Like the friends that I have that made the absolute most amount of money, also in percentage based on their investment, are the friends that bought Bitcoin and Ethereum with me in 2017. And those people, or with those spot holdings, we just speak to each other like a few times per cycle. And then it was just a decision. Okay, 125K was the top. We did not sell the absolute top, but we sold a shitload of Bitcoin between 100K and 110K. But based on last cycle, that is just a 4x based on what we bought in 2017. This is a 50x. You do not beat it with scalping in between. What and why we are trading is so with this knowledge, we just know when to buy and sell spot. And with the scalps and the day trading in between, you are then also buying more cheap Bitcoin or more cheap hype, and then you let it multiply again. So this is a core part of why I'm saying like, okay, in those regions here, I am buying hype again. I never told anyone to buy hype above $40 because this was a profit taking region, right? Green is profit taking, red is buying around that. And so, oh, we are exactly here, right? I have to buy some spot after the stream. Because what is $24? Like that kind of means like 20 euro or like 19 pounds. Like these are levels where people are like, oh, okay, cool. With $100, I can buy 4 or 5 hype. I can put it into staking. I don't care. And given the fact that Bitcoin could go down here, say another 20%, and then you had a minus 50% from the top, and then you say what we are going to do a 3x from there, then the next cycle top on Bitcoin will be something at around $200,000 to $250,000. Then after that, I can see Bitcoin retesting the old all-time high, so it can dump from 200. Let's just draw it on the chart, okay? Before you say those numbers don't make any sense. Just FYI, from the top of 21 to the bear market bottom of 22, Bitcoin went down 78%. And everyone told me that my Bitcoin is dead now and that I'm stupid as hell for still being in this market before it 4x'd. Then another bear market, and ultimately from there, it 7x. And altcoins we know went hundreds of x. And then from this, we went down again 30%. Okay. So this is just completely normal. Here we're down 77%. So let's say it's just not that extreme anymore, but we just go to this cool area here. That's something like minus 50, minus 60%, whatever. Really, guys, whatever. you will survive this and you will be happy that you will have bought the cheap coins. But if we then just say, just as this classic 3, 4x um, from somewhere here, you see what I mean? Like I even have to zoom out because price will be so much higher. Let's not get crazy. Let's not go to that 250,000. But here it's still like a 3x, right? 200% is a 3x. That's just how percentage works, as you know. But this is just super organic, right? It just looks like this normal trumpet curve. Um, this is kind of my outlook, and this is also why I'm saying, like, hey guys, you are through the worst if you want it like this, right? Like, okay, let's say it continues like this, then you are at 40,000. I don't really see that. Maybe it happens. I rather see anything between here. So I really think you are through the worst and coins are slowly worth buying, where Hype is a good example. I don't care if I buy Hype at $24 or at $16. Like this is ballpark the same because what we are looking for is that usually also how it was with with Solana, um, the great rise of the ecosystem usually is after the first huge sell-off because now the tech is built, Hyperliquid is built out, so many different platforms, oracles, everyone is starting to include the Hyperliquid platform. And then from those levels, you have easily a 3 to 5x ahead, if not more. I just think $100 will be a huge take profit mark, whereas people will front run that with $80, $90. So if you can buy it from here, I think a solid 4x will happen. Um, this was me anticipating the rounded bottom with a little bit higher, followed by a rejection. And you can see like the rejection played out. We had shorts that did not get filled. We had shorts that got filled. Um, Market is crazy, but this is why I think it was worth a lot to share you the thought process behind this. That I say I want this to flip because we are in a downtrend. We are in a downtrend. This is not my opinion. This is a fact. We are in a downtrend. And that's why the market has to do a lot for me or for us to be so attractive that you say, okay, I'm taking a big bet on a long, but since we get rejected somewhere here or get rejected from the EMAs, the only play is shorts. And of course, I know in between on a scalp, we longed in between, and you guys also made nice profits with long trades. But this is for scalps. This is just not something that in such a downtrend, I cannot tell you on stream to take this or that long and close it within 4 hours because the next stream is in a week or two, right? So I have to go a little bit in the bigger picture to respect your and my time and also the risk that I cannot update that so well. So now should to take this further, now should we stay like this, there will be another profitable shorting setup, and it's amazing. But should we now be able to flip this here? Okay, should we now be able to flip this here, flip the POC? Therefore, also here, this is our beloved EMA. And it will continue like this, right? This is how they work. And should we now be able, with the price, to after rejection to go somewhere here, then we would take a long position with a stop at or below one of those wicks and a take profit at the upper band. It's again a beautiful 2-to-1 trade. What would we do here? Exactly. We wait. If it's easier flipping this, then we finally have our long set up. Or we see somewhat of a rejection here. So we again take the same short that already printed as once with a stop loss quite at the entry where we would flip long and then try to reshort it one more time. Wait, let me do this. Pull it over here. So this is the current setup. Just moving it around. Currently, the short printed once already. Maybe it will print another time. Otherwise, like even before it hits the stop loss and you see this is heading into a bullish formation, you can flip long. And then depending on if we get rejected or not here, you continue with another long or a short on Solana. And it basically is the same for Ethereum. I anticipated in the last stream local top here because the EMA 100 and 200 are breaking down, which for me means, okay, so if you are still in this downtrend, if the ATR bands are still pulling you down, then I want to short in the green. I want to short at this level. And I think somewhere here we could bounce, and we did basically exactly that so far. So the shorts are closed for now. The problem for me is that we're heading into a weekend. Um, and we're also really heading into Christmas, right? So my recommendation is just if you want to continue trading, then that is super cool. But at the same point, I don't think it's worth it so much to take on a big risk right before Christmas. Because if you are going to lose whatever amount of money is meaningful for you, okay, I know we have our risk in place and you can afford to probably lose 5 times in a row your $100 of risk. But if you overtrade a little bit and you sit exactly there on Christmas with your family, with your friends, or you stand in church and 2 days ago you just blew multiple grand or just money that could be meaningful for you, then you're kind of spoiling a time that should give you a rest. So I recommend you to lower your risk if you continue trading throughout the next it's just 7 days, right? But also to be aware that oh, Beetle has similar thoughts. Amazing. Great chart, bro. I love your levels. I love the colors. I love what you're looking out for. Thank you for sharing. I always love your inputs, and this I think Beetle is an example for really nice trader, for someone that has his analysis in place, that knows what he's looking out for, or she. Don't want to assume your gender. Maybe I'm wrong. Are you you're a dude? Okay. Yeah. So sorry, bro, but yeah. Thanks, bro. Also, definitely want the custom. I will stop the screen sharing. We really made it this time in 30 minutes because we started a bit late. Um, that's cool. I would really love if maybe in the future after Christmas time or so, some of you would also want to speak in the streams or maybe share a chart that you have. Like this is also cool in the chat, but maybe we can make it like a roundtable speaking type of thing that once or twice per month we just exchange some alpha together.